What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Giacomo. I am a co-owner and coach over here at VeganProteins. Today, I am going to show you how to do the world's easiest vegan meal prep imaginable. This is so easy, it's criminal. I'm gonna walk you through it right now. I'm also going to give you options. So I'm going to show you how to make everything to spec. And then if you have no time, if you haven't prepped ahead of time, or if you're just in the mood for something else, I'll give you a quick swap on the fly for pretty much every single thing that I'm doing. First thing, breakfast, my personal favorite meal of the day. I got that right in front of me over here. Now, the two options that I'm going to give you are to do your oats overnight or to make them in the morning if you have time and you want to cook them up. I'm going to show you how to do them overnight right now and show you what I'm going to put into this overnight oat recipe. Very, very, very simple. PROATS, protein and oats, right? Because you want a moderate amount of protein with every one of your meals. And I'll walk you through how this all comes together at the end of the video, so stay tuned. So I'm going to start with oats. I'm going to do about a quarter cup worth. And I like filling this up in a mason jar. It's really easy to take with you. And you can prep this ahead of time. You can prep it for the whole week. You can prep it the night before. And if you know that you're going to be able to cook it up, you can cook it up. And if you can't, you can take it with you. So I'm gonna throw some blueberries in here as well. Probably like 1/3 of a cup, give or take. That looks about right. I don't need to use all this. Some protein, my personal favorite, Zao. Very, very digestible. That's the vanilla flavor. Delicious. Has a nice creamy texture. So I'm gonna throw that in right there. Now, here's where it gets fun. I'm gonna close this up, right? And you can decide, you can make these ahead of time if you have enough mason jars and enough time or in storage, whatever. And if you want, you can throw some soy milk in or your favorite non-dairy milk and water. And you can do that night before and even morning up. If you don't have time, if you're like, oh, I wanted to cook, but I don't have time and I'm on the go, you can go ahead and, excuse my kitty, you might see him in the frame because he's everywhere. That's Xander, by the way. You'll see him, I'm sure you will. You can still do your oats morning of, and by the time you get to work or wherever it is that you're going, hour later, everything will be soaked up. And maybe you can microwave it somewhere. Like, there's always an option on the fly. It doesn't have, nothing has to be perfect, right? So you can soak them overnight, you can soak them in the morning and then preheat them somewhere, or just when everything softens up a little bit, or you could cook your oats in the morning. But this is what that looks like. So simple, it's stupid. Now that breakfast is taken care of, I'm gonna show you how I make lunch. A 5-minute single serving seitan and some broccoli with cheese on the side. These are the things that you're going to need for this. We're gonna need some spray oil, I like olive oil personally, some poultry seasoning, and some liquid smoke, some PB2, broccoli, your favorite non-dairy cheese, I like VIOLIFE, and then the magic ingredient where you get all the protein, Vital Wheat Gluten. Now, I'm gonna bring you over here so you can see what I have going on as I prep this real fast. I'm using a panini press, right? However, you can also do this on a pan, and obviously you can batch cook this for the week, or you can do it on the fly. Now, before I get my hands in the mix with you with this recipe, if this all sounds like too much, or if you want something different, or you're not in the mood, or you don't have time, here's a real simple swap. Apple, or your favorite piece of fruit, and a bag of vegan jerky. This stuff has like 25, 30 grams, super easy to take with you. Unisoy, jerky, and they come in like 8 different flavors. I love this stuff. So, simple snack on the go. And the point here is that you always want a backup option, that if you're unprepared, you don't have time, it's like, oh no, what do? I have a meal prep, I'm off this set. You will find excuses, and excuses will find you. So regardless of what's happening, you always have an option and a way to stay on your A game. Simple swap. I'm gonna give you a simple swap for everything. I have wet and I have dry. The dry stuff, we'll start with that. We'll start with the Vital Wheat Gluten. I'm gonna do 6 tablespoons. I'm gonna throw that into here. And tablespoon of PB2. 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon of poultry seasoning, and a teaspoon of nutritional yeast. I'm gonna take all of this and I'm gonna put some liquid smoke in, about a half a teaspoon, excuse me, and anywhere from 1/3 to 3/4, 1/3 to 2/3 of a cup of water. It's like 1/2 cup to a cup, really. It's gonna come out a little different every time. Basically, you need it to be not too wet and not too slimy, meaning like the water should be all mixed in. I'll show you what it looks like. You don't want it to be so dry though that you can't form it into a nice chicken patty. That's 5-minute single serving seitan for me. That's my meat, that's my chicken. And then I'll put that on the side with some frozen broccoli, which is super simple, super easy to store and prepare on the fly. And then I'll melt a little bit of cheese on top of it. And obviously I can take this with me wherever I go. And hey, if you don't have an option to heat it up, you can always have the cheese at dinner, and I'll show you what that looks like. Dinner, the fajitas, oh, those are gonna come out so good. Let me show you what this looks like when I mix it all up so you can see the consistency. So as you can see, this formed a nice ball. If it winds up splitting apart too much, you've used too much water, and you can attempt to salvage this recipe. It's pretty salvageable by throwing a little more of the Vital Wheat gluten in. Alternatively, if it's like too thick, you might want to put a little bit of water in. Just know that Vital Wheat gluten expands as you add the water to it, so just give it some time, keep mixing it up, and just find your happy place here where it forms like a nice ball. That way you could take this and flatten it into a patty, which I'm gonna use the panini press for over here because I have it. However, if you don't have one of these or you don't have the time, you can always prepare this in like a pan real fast. Just takes a couple minutes. I'm gonna spray this with some oil. I'm gonna put this in, I'll show you what this looks like. Press it, leave it there for like 2 minutes, and then voila, I have my own vegan chicken patty. I'm going to cut this up into some strips. You can leave it, you can prepare it however you want. Once it cools off, I'm gonna toss it in here with some cheese and some broccoli. Now, the longer you cook this, the crispier it becomes, so it's kind of up to you how long you wanna keep it in the press or on a pan. Anywhere from like, say, 2 to 5 minutes. Next, and this one is pretty much completely foolproof, protein shake and a piece of fruit. Bananas, apples, tangerines, anything you want, right? For a scoop of protein, again, my favorite, Zao, right into a shaker, get it prepared ahead of time. And if you don't want that, if you don't want a protein shake, again, jerky or some other snack, maybe like a protein bar, for example, anything. And I like this snack as a good pre-workout meal because it's quick, it's on the fly, you can like take it anywhere, even in your gym bag. And your water bottle, right? Or I don't know where my water bottle is, so I'm gonna show you in a mason jar. You can just maybe take something that'll encourage you to drink more water and also replenish lost salt, electrolytes. I like Ultima. Listen, kitty, I'm filming over here, buddy. I'm gonna go grape for now. Throw some Ultima in here. Flavors up your water and also helps encourage you to drink more of it, and also helps to replenish lost salt. So you can carry a stick of this, but I'm gonna show you what that looks like. And that is just, oh yeah, my personal favorite mid-workout or just during the day, whenever you wanna get hydrated, or stay hydrated, I should say. You definitely wanna drink throughout the day. And if you can't, for whatever reason, it's still better to get fully hydrated as soon as possible, preferably like pre, during, and post exercise. That's when it's the most important. And obviously it's much easier to drink while you're in the middle of training. Breathing heavily, you have access to the bathroom, etc., and you definitely want your muscles to be hydrated while you're training. So yeah, shake, you got your water with some electrolytes in it, a little protein, maybe throw a little bit of almond or soy milk in there as well, or carry it with you on the side. And then your choice of fruit or fruits, depending on how much you want to eat, depending on your needs. And then of course you can always scratch the shake for something else. Dinner time. Now I'm gonna make some fajitas up. This is the base ingredient, soy curls. And I'll show you what these look like dry. Honestly, they're much easier to cook with, and you'll want to by rehydrating them a little bit. So you just soak them in water for like 5 minutes tops. You soak up the water a little bit and then you can cook them up. They are super simple to prepare and delicious. While these are hydrating, it only takes about 5 minutes. I'm going to show you everything else that I'll be using to make my fajitas. Peppers, salad, salsa. I like fresh avocados and fresh guacamole, but I got some store-bought guacamole. You know what? Cheater. It's even simple. Speaking about cheater ingredients, fajita seasoning mix as opposed to making it all on your own from scratch. And a little bit of olive oil to help get that saute stir fry thing going with the peppers. And then rather than going traditional with some tortillas, I'm gonna go with these instead. They are high in protein, they are low in carbs, so they are athlete friendly. These are Joseph wraps. This is a brand you may not have access to. There's all kinds of low carb wraps that you can find them at Target, Walmart, your local grocery store. We got these, so I'm gonna use these as a way to modify instead of doing like a regular tortilla. I'm going to heat up the pan, throw a little bit of olive oil, like a teaspoon. A little bit goes a long way. And if you don't trust yourself to not heavy pour, use a measuring spoon, because oil, you could just like get too much in there and it doesn't really taste good, doesn't feel good either. So yeah, I'm gonna brown the peppers first, then I'm gonna throw in the soy curls. And once that cooks up for like 5 or 10 minutes, and I'll show you what I'm doing, then I'll go ahead and show you what the fajitas look like all plated. Oh yeah, and of course, I'll probably throw about half a bag in of this with the 2 cups of soy curls and 2 peppers. Yeah, I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, now it's time to plate these. I got my fajita mix, I got my soy curls and peppers all mixed up into a nice meaty pepper steakish kinda, just so good. I don't even have words. That is, if the camera could smell. Anyways, I got that. I'm gonna throw that into these 2 wraps over here. I got tomatoes, guacamole or avocado, some fresh salad greens, and some cheddar. And I'll show you what this looks like. there you have it. The world's, literally the world's easiest vegan meal prep. I don't know if you noticed this, but I threw a little piece of chocolate in for the end. So this example right here is about 200 grams of carbs, 50-ish grams of fat, and 175-ish grams of protein. But this is fully customizable here. I mean, you could do all kinds of things. You can have the jerky and the banana, like double snack it up, and then do the protein shake and the apple, so 2 snacks during the day. You can have a larger dessert or have something else that's a little fun, maybe like a scoop of ice cream or something like that at the end of the day, or a larger piece of chocolate. You can go the more wholesome route and you can have a bigger serving of oats, put some more oats in your breakfast and maybe a grain, maybe some rice on the side, or with the fajitas at dinner, you can put some corn and beans and add that into the tortillas. You can do a little more cheese with the cheddar shreds for lunch and for dinner. You can also omit all of those things if you want to make this more, I don't want to say more macro friendly, more suited for your needs, right? So in other words, you could do without the cheese, you could do less fruit, and you can do 1 fajita, for example, and that would be a much lower calorie example of something that is still very athlete friendly and so ridiculously simple. It's not even funny. We have a lot of recipes like this for all of our members of our academy. Our Muscles by Brussels membership gets you access to all of this on our website. So feel free to check that out. It's in the show notes. Once again, my name is Giacomo, and we'll see you on our next episode.